AOC gave the most important feminist speech in a generation. My wife had a really bad day at work and her boss believes he can't be misogynistic because he has a wife and 2 daughters. Showing her this video really helped her. Thank you, AOC, for helping my wife realize she's not to be a mat for others to walk on. What I love about her is that her words speak to everyone, not just those who support her. You can be a devout Republican woman your whole life and still identify with her speech. She will move mountains soon enough. It's disgusting when people say things like that to women and then hide behind their wives and daughters. AOC be stone cold stunning everyone in her way. This is the part of the speech I imagine will be run by Fox News. AOC, Mr. Yoho defended his actions by saying he has daughters. But I am also a daughter, and I am grateful that my father is not alive to hear the things that Mr. Yoho said about me. Fox News plays clip. And I am grateful my father is not alive. Fox News, you heard it here, folks. AOC is glad her father is dead. It was more than a feminist speech. It was just perfect on every level. From not wanting the generic, phony apology, which is how these things always go, to putting things in perspective, she knocked it out of the park. Wish we heard American politicians communicate like that more often. Edit, I think this is my first comment to exceed 1K and it couldn't be for a better post-hugging face. I like that in calling him out she never labels him, he's a misogynist / asshole / coward / fraud / idiot / etc. But instead focuses on his actions. I'm a straight white male from the southeastern section of the USA, and AOC represents me better than anyone else in the House of Representatives. I hope that the future of the Democratic Party is more like her. Get used to seeing this woman. She's the future. Guess I'm a feminist now. That speech was sick. Edit, I was always a feminist. I just didn't consider this speech feminist until this article. That was the joke. Sorry for the confusion. Called him exactly what he was. The fucking disgusting idiot who had too much to drink at his local bar and is pissed when they kick him out. So far, we could use more speeches like that. 2018, why is the right so determined to make AOC a star? 2019, wow, she just is a star. 2020, more of that. Some women take a more sideways approach, reclaiming an insult like nevertheless, she persisted and turning it into something empowering. It seems weird they didn't name Senator Warren directly here. Maybe they assume everybody already knows this quote is associated with her, but you never know who does and doesn't know something. The speech was dead-ass fire, yo. Yeah, I heard it start playing on the radio today, and they played the whole thing. I turned it up, listened to whole speech, pretty amazing. https://youtube.b/fcnewpcf8l00. Australia's only female Prime Minister Julia Gillard gave this speech about 10 years ago. Our opposition at the time, the equivalent of your Republicans, made her tenure hell, along with the media calling her names, deriding the fact she was barren, childless, mocking her dress and hair, yet against all odds she passed more legislation than the boys' club ever have. The speech is worth a listen. I cried watching. I am so glad that young female voices like her, and specifically her, are stepping up. I am so proud. It's time. We need it. Removed. Definitely some quotable that will be remembered for a long time, but on the whole the speech was average for her. It was unique because of where it was made. This was the best bit. And so, what I believe is that having a daughter does not make a man decent. Having a wife does not make a decent man. Treating people with dignity and respect makes a decent man. And when a decent man messes up, as we all are bound to do, he tries his best and does apologize. Not to save face, not to win a vote. He apologizes genuinely to repair and acknowledge the harm done so that we can all move on. She's also the most dangerous politician in a decade to the GOP agenda. She's got Hillary's brainpower and drive, better political instincts, and you could see yourself having a beer with her. Republicans are going to pull out all the stops with her. It was a great speech. She's definitely the type of leader America needs. My old boss used to call women he didn't like skanks and whores. I was indispensable at that job, so I would call him out. He'd always say, "What? I have 6 daughters. I'm a feminist." Always. Every time, hiding behind the women and girls in his family. I fucking hated that job. Fuck you, David. I'm an Australian, so it reminds me when our former PM, God bless her, our last good one, absolutely fucked our opposition leader in Parliament. Link if you want it, https://www. YouTube.com/watch, v equals it 7 offro qx0. Clinton called it striking, https://www. YouTube.com/watch, v equals z0rcnqzco. And we voted it to be the most unforgettable TV moment, https://www. YouTube.com/watch, v equals fcnewpcf8l00. Pity the opposition won and ruined the biggest infrastructure project of a lifetime for Murdoch. I love how she did this and got a clear victory by exemplifying class. She puts Yoho in a corner delivering a powerful speech like that to follow up his limp apology, if you even want to call it that. And he's talking about not apologizing for his God, following up an action that would get anyone else fired by verbally assaulting a young woman like that. We'll never get tired of saying how much I love her. She's right, having a mother, wife, or daughter does not make you a decent man. Being a male is a matter of birth, being a man is a matter of age. But being a gentleman is a matter of choice. Drake. AOC in the house. Now that's how you say, F you with class. Says more about how we diminish and demean feminism in recent times more than anything. From the perspective of a Brit, it really feels like AOC's destiny is President of the United States sometime in the future. Are you sure? Because a guy with a goatee and wraparound sunglasses on Twitter said she was just being overly sensitive. AOC is a force to be reckoned with, both outspoken and intelligent. And that's exactly why conservative men will always hate her. She's a great speaker. I applaud this whole speech. I really hate those people who think feminism is anti-men, when in reality it's misandrists that use that title as a shield. Julia Gillard though. I don't hear many speeches that I consider moving. This speech was moving, and I don't say that lightly. She explained the problem without sounding like a victim, and thus took away the main criticism that anyone could levy against her. Don't misunderstand me, her detractors will insist that she is somehow acting as a victim, but no one that listens to her speech can hear anything remotely related to victimhood unless they are so blinded by hate, or so utterly partisan that they refuse to genuinely listen. She said nothing political in this speech, so anyone implying or stating that she is being political are just being pathetically dishonest, and that's sad. She spoke only to the mistreatment of women by misogynistic assholes, and perfectly explained why his "I have a wife and daughters" is not a good excuse. In fact, it's worse than a bad excuse, it was an attempt to justify his behavior. His statement on the other hand was the equivalent of "I can't be racist, some of my best friends are black." Her policy is young, but she's fucking real. She's leaps and bounds ahead of where she should be at her age. People that are trying to tear her down are just afraid of her potential. I really hope she lives up to it. Anyone that enjoyed this should also go and check out Julia Gillard's sexism speech to Tony Abbott, Australian PM and opposition leader respectively, from a few years back. It is scathing, saddening but also satisfying AF. In America, yes, but Julia Gillard, Prime Minister of Australia, gave a great speech on this subject about 10 years ago. Her speech was so personal to me. I was yelled at by a male colleague and called me many horrible names in front of my peers and my boss. My boss did nothing. He told her he was on edge because he was having marital issues. He then verbally attacked me 2 additional times. Nothing happened. He was actually promoted. People tell me to get over it all the time. I'm so grateful for AOC and this speech. I feel somewhat vindicated. Warm.